Hello, hello. I am here today to talk to you a little bit about game audio and specifically kind of get behind the scenes with the programming for Unity. And we're going to start with this is just working straight out of the Unity audio engine, basically. And so I found a very simple little free game. We can look under the hood here. So check it out. I'm going to play it first. Then we're going to do a breakdown of how they do the music and the sounds, and we'll look at it all from a programming perspective. All right, here's the game. Get ready. Brace yourselves. Here it comes. So take a listen to the music. Simple firing sounds. Collision, bullet colliding. Now here's a bomb. Watch this. Take a listen. Hear that? Yeah. And this is the whole game. I mean, it's not much, but it's something. I actually don't know what this game is called. I downloaded it from the Unity store as like a little example, and I just saved it a new project. So unfortunately, I can't give anyone credit for this, but it has really clean code. I will say that. The code's wonderful. Okay, so let's get into it. How do they make those sounds? How do they do that? What's making this magic happen? Okay, time to dig into some C#. First thing, let's start with the music. This is easy. This is game's one level, and this music is triggered to just start at the beginning. Okay, so if you want to do the simplest thing, you have a game that's one scene. You want to put some music in it. The first scene, you will make a game object. Nothing fancy. Call it music. Then add an audio source. You go to add component, add audio source. Drag in whatever music clip. In this case, it's this thing, or I don't know. I think it's actually this thing. Take that. Click music. Drag it over. Make sure you check play on awake. This is very important, everyone. This tells it to start when the scene starts. See? It's off. Nothing. Silence. So that needs to be checked. Okay. I made another game object. I call it Better Music because I thought that music was kind of lame, but I don't know. All right, I'm going to leave Play on Awake unchecked, though, because I want to delve into the sounds now. So the first sound I want to look at, how they do it, specifically with the code, and then in the inspector, how they attach it, is going to be that sound. The firing sound. This is a critically important sound. How they pull that off? Well, let's go look at Hero, Bazooka. Oh, nothing was there. Course. Let's look at gun. Sometimes you gotta have to reverse engineer to figure out where these things are. Boom. Okay. So on gun, the gun object, there's an attached audio source called Bazooka. However, unlike the music, this doesn't just start automatically firing once the game starts. And let's take a look at the script actually, because this will make sense when we delve into this. So here we've got some beautiful, let's make that a little bit bigger, there we go, beautiful C#. Let's click over to gun, and what's lovely is they don't even create an audio clip here. Here, let's get rid of that. Down in the update function, you simply got under if, an if statement, if input.get button down fire 1, that's basically saying if you press the left trigger, so on the mouse, the left trigger, these things will happen. Okay. Of course, the update function, I don't know if I have to explain what that is, but it just looks every frame for a change and then updates. Okay. We have the animation triggering to shoot, and then this is the important part right here. Get component, audio source, dot play. That's it. That's all it is. It's saying when you press that, play this. Okay? So in your game, if you want to set something up similar, you have a firing sound. This is so easy. It's kind of 2D game. This is one way to do it. Just create an if statement with the input control and attach your clip, whatever it is, the sound that you want. In this case, it's the firing sound. And just simply instruct it to play from the audio source when you left click it. Okay, this is simple stuff so far. Let's look at the next thing. I made a list here. Okay, now take a listen to this. Notice in this game these little packages will drop. Like, look at this. Okay, I grabbed the package. Now I can lay a bomb. I can set a bomb and it will explode. So let's check this out. I'm gonna right click to lay the bomb, and let's listen. Lovely sound. How'd they do it? Well, let's crack into that next. Let's find the sound first. It's on in C#. Lay bombs. You've got two sounds going on. You have the actual bombs away statement and then the explosion sound. So let's take a look at the bombs away. Okay, this happens only when you right click when you have the bomb there. And let's find actually where. It's always good to find which game object this is attached to. Okay, beautiful. Go to hero. So notice I have hero selected. On this game object, we've attached the audio. Okay. Yeah. We created our lay bomb script. Okay, so add component script called lay bombs, and one of the properties of that is a public audio clip, which creates a little lane right here. Okay, so but called bombs away. By creating that, we created this. Now let's pretend. Let's say I call this public audio clip dog, and I save it. Let's see if it changes the name over here. It doesn't appear to be doing that. Of course, it won't play. Come on. Come on. No, this isn't working for demonstration purposes. Okay, didn't work. Forget that. But you can add public. I just want to demonstrate how this works. If anyone's wondering. Public. Let's do another audio clip. Dog. I love dogs. Not really. Let's see if something called dog shows up. No, I didn't save it. Ah, always remember to save. Yes, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see it right there where the mouse is? I could add another audio clip if I so desire. I do not. Let's delete it. Okay, cool. We've got bombs away. Same procedure as before. We go into audio. We dragged over the bomb, the sound of this little potato guy saying bombs away. And then it's slightly different. They did this a kind of a different way. This is easy. This is very standard. Void update. So again, we go to the update function. It's saying if input.get button down fire to. If you're pressing now, the right mouse click thing. Play the bomb laying sound. Audio source dot play clip at point bombs away blah 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 blah. Okay, this is the key right here. You are telling it you've created this thing, this audio clip called bombs away, and you are using play clip at point to refer to it. Play clip at point. If I highlight it and we take a look, what is it? You may be wondering. This is straight from the Unity scripting API. Play clip a point. What is it? Well, it's this thing. Okay, it's a function. It's got a couple parameters. The name of the audio clip, which we put in, the vector position, basically, and the volume. So here we're using bombs away, transform.position, telling it that it's on the game object essentially, and we're not worrying about the volume right now. Okay, so that's how that works. Pretty straightforward. That's a slightly different method of getting sounds to play when you press something. Like these are, I guess, input controls, you would call them. Easy stuff, again. You don't even really need coding any experience to come up with this. Okay. Let's move on. Next thing is the randomized taunts. Take a listen to this. This is cool. This is maybe the most interesting part of the game in terms of just from a technical perspective. He added a nice feature where when you shoot this, yeah, let's actually turn the volume down of that bazooka because it's too loud. If I could figure out how to do that. Yeah, that's like, actually forget that. I have to go in the code and do that, and I don't feel like it right now. Just take a listen. Let's see if we can hear this. And I want you, while I'm doing this, look at audio source where my mouse is. Take a look at this, and then I want you to look at the space for audio clip, and just look what happens. Player, take that. Notice it's changing. It's randomly changing. It's selecting different taunts and it's playing them. You can't really hear it right now because it's just too loud. The sound of the bazooka, but the character he's saying these things in a totally random order. As I said, this is the most interesting aspect of it. So, take a quick look. Player controller, blah, blah, blah. Let's look over here. We're going to take a look at the taunts. Okay. He's using an array. And I'm going to actually go into detail with this specific technique later. This is just randomizing sounds, and this could be used for a variety of things. You can think of footsteps. You don't want the same audio file playing every single time. It gets repetitive, so we're using an array to store a whole bunch of audio clips, and then we're calling them at random to play. And he's also done something really cool too, because he's got a time delay setting and instructing the computer not to repeat the last played sound. If you're familiar with Wwise, this is called a random container, basically, and you can adjust the properties. But I'm going to go over how to do it in the code, too, just so we can work straight out of the audio engine. It's all down here. You've got these two functions right here that are being called by score. Right here. And I'm going to go into this one later. I'm going to probably just devote a video on how to do this, how to randomize sounds, because it's not that hard, and it's something that's so important if you want good audio in your game. Okay, let's go to the last one. I call this sound by way of instantiation. This kind of, I couldn't figure this out for a second, and then I thought about it, and I figured it out. This is a different audio technique now we're moving into, where take a listen to this. Check out what happens as the enemies go down here. You hear that? It's the sound of them hitting the water. So when I first looked at it, I didn't pick up on this right away. It was a little bit hidden, and also I'm still relatively new to programming. But what we have, and I'm going to try to find it, is a collider. I'm going to find the darn collider. There's basically a destroyer that's set down there, and there's a collision that happens. So when the character lands or the enemy lands down there, it's making that water splashing noise. It's recognizing that it's hitting the collider. And where's the collider? Collider is okay. Yeah, some of these things can be hard to find. Kill trigger. There we go. That's it. That's the collider we have. So as you can see, it's a green rectangle, and on it we have something called splash. And let's actually take a look. There's also a script, remover script, that runs. Let's take a look at splash. This is a prefab. Go back. I gotta find it. Where is it? No. No, come on. There we go. Splash. Okay. There you can see attached is the water splash sound. However, this is very mysterious. I could not, when I was looking at this, I couldn't find, in my mind it was very simple. The code for this should just be if you collide, so in case of collision, then make that sound. And you could do it the same way we've been reviewing it, with an audio clip, and then you use the same function, play clip at point. We went over all of that. That's not how they do it, though. There's something a little different going on. So it's worth noting. This is another way to get a sound to play. What they do is they rely on instantiation. So so here it is. This is remover. Remember, this is the script that was attached to the kill trigger. Okay. This is on the collider. So we have void on trigger, enter 2D, collider 2D, collider. This is basically saying when you hit the collider, if it happens, this will happen. And this line right here. So we have instantiate, splash, blah, blah, blah. That's if the player hits it. And then this is if the enemy hits it. Okay? So he's basically relying on instantiation, which is bringing up this right here. So it's, imagine how we had the music, okay? I know this is a little weird. I'm not explaining this well. We had the music at the start of the scene. I pressed play. The music started. It just started, right? Play on awake. Remember, look, play on awake was set. I'm going to set it. It wasn't set. Play on awake is now set. And when I do this, boom, we have the music. That lovely music. I'm going to play my music. Forget that music. Hold on 1 second. Here's my more intense music. It's not necessarily better. It's just different. That's what I'm talking about. That's more like it. Makes this game sound less cartoony. That's exactly what I'm sure they were not going for. That's okay. Okay. Going back to this though. Kill trigger. Splash. Note that when I press play and I have it set to play on awake, the music starts right at the beginning. That's exactly what's going on here. You just have an audio source with the water splash sound set. It's set to play on awake, okay? And awake for this means essentially when the collision happens, this splash is instantiated, thereby playing the sound. That's the best I'm going to do in explaining that right now. And it should make some sense. If you know something about programming. That's the cool. Thanks for joining me, guys. This is the first episode or whatever you want to call it of Eric breaks down game audio. As this goes on, it's gonna be a little more impressive than just the 2D stuff. But I think let's start with the basics. Let's just the total basics of working around in the Unity audio engine. Okay, cool.